Nice. Just kind of hovering over the fabric.
Okay.
So I don't get off. Ah, get off! Help! Oh, I got it off. But now we have a new problem. Alright, what if I do this? 'Cause I don't care if I burn this fabric. I may have to cover this up with something. Yeah, I may have to cover that up with something. Most of Sunday was spent finishing the delicate petal blouse, which I will be posting soon. Monday and Tuesday I didn't really record because I was running errands and ended up giving myself a headache just because of the heat, so I was kind of out of commission for a little bit. So as I was sanding down the wall, you'll see me do a little bit of a scratch test, and I come to the realization that I am actually not going to have to redo all of the purple that I had already done. It was adhering to the wall far better than the black was adhering to the closet frame and the door frame, so that was a huge relief. You can see right here, I'm doing a little scratch as hard as I can, and it's barely leaving a mark, and here I'm doing it with the same pressure and it's just peeling right off. And there you can kind of see my brain processing like, oh, this is a much smaller redo than I thought it was. And that was just like a breath of fresh air that gave me a little bit of renewed vigor to keep going. So as I was sanding in order to give the new black paint something to hold on to, it turns out that there were actually 3 previous layers of paint that I was trying to paint over, and at some point I just said forget it, I'm going down to the original wood, that way this layer of black will have nothing to peel off of. It'll have a nice smooth surface to adhere to, and I will get a beautiful coat of paint that is just glossy enough to provide a nice contrast to the matte purple, and it turns out looking really beautiful. Dangly earrings. Not a good idea. So I took a break on Thursday morning, rediscovering this little black velvet hat box that I've had for a while. I originally got it with these pink ribbons, but pink has never really been my color. However, this Harlequin ribbon that I've had for a while is super cute in my opinion. So I just decided, let's replace the pink ribbons with the Harlequin. I might even do some beading around the lid of the box a little later on, but that's for a different day. I've already got so much going on, and I just needed a little bit of a break from the sanding, just because it was starting to hurt my knees. So, a little side quest, and now I have something even cuter that I love. So after my box got its pretty new ribbon, it was back to the sanding. However, I discovered that in order to make it easier on myself, what I could do is scrape off the original white and black paint down to the off-white, and then sand that layer down to the wood, and that made the process go a lot faster. Kind of ironic that adding another step actually sped up the process. So I took a little break from all of my sanding and I tried making the burrito bowl today. This one turned out really good. It just needs to be seasoned a little more next time. I just used like onion powder, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. Just trying not to overdo it because I do have a bad habit of doing that as well. But this turned out really good. I've got some pinto beans, some wild rice, avocado, lettuce, green onions, and then my non-dairy cheese. So, oh, and red pepper hummus. So it turned out pretty good, but there's a little more that I want to add next time. A quick trip to the farmer's market on Saturday for some vegetables and a new drink from my local coffee place. Came back home and started on the painting. Friday was spent sanding, but I didn't want any particles getting into my phone, so I didn't record on that day, but I can tell you, my arms were definitely sore that day, so here I am, just painting over all of the imperfections in the wood. This paint does already have a primer in it, so hopefully that's good enough to keep it from peeling off this time. I did another scratch test a little later after everything had dried, and it seemed to be adhering really well. But, we'll see how it goes in the future. I was considering maybe filling in some of like the dents and scrapes in the wood, but honestly, I kind of like when things are imperfect, so I said, you know what, forget it, we'll just leave them there. Never one to miss an opportunity to test gravity's patience with me, I decided that since I had all of my paint supplies out today, I may as well get started on the fourth and final wall in my room. I am so glad I chose to do this down here. I'm so glad I chose to do this when it started cooling off. I was not made for physical activity. guess those are getting a landlord special. Oh, hi! Are you going to be my assistant? Or are you just going to be underfoot? The good news is, rearranging my furniture like this has turned it into a little kitty jungle gym. Or a gauntlet. Either way, they're entertained. I got this cool moth shelf recently too, that I'm gonna put all my crystals in. Will you two knock it off? Everything was covered in dust. Fair enough, fair citizens, I'm a professional idiot. Take off the outlet and the Phillips head is only over here. That is flathead. It'll work. Well, I'm glad that I nearly have the final wall done. Unfortunately, I was holding my wrist at very strange angles, and so I ended up kind of spraining it. Luckily today I didn't have a whole lot to do, as I've decided in order to do the ceiling, I need an extendable roller just to save my neck. So I'm going to wait until tomorrow, Monday, in order to pick that up from Lowe's, and then I'll get right back to painting. But today I just decided to take a break while doing some light editing. Thank you all so much for joining me this week. I really appreciate you giving me a bit of your time. I hope you will be joining me next week when we will be starting the June project for So 2025.